Good afternoon, everyone. This is Karin with Highly Sensitive Parents, and this is my it's already my fourth video, where I'm talking about highly sensitive people, high sensitivity in general. And today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about grounding. And grounding is, I see that as one of the most basic, fundamental techniques that will help most highly sensitive people take better care of themselves and actually just go throughout the day with a little bit more balance and flow. So let's see. Grounding. Why do we need to ground ourselves? I think that's something that it's a little bit interesting to just go into that, as I've been using many of these techniques throughout the years. I've seen a lot of developments going on in grounding techniques, and a few years ago nobody was talking about grounding. Not in a therapeutical setting, but it was always being talked about in a more spiritual setting. And because of that, I think a lot of people were not being helped that could use grounding techniques. But as we have been evolving also in therapeutic settings, we see that grounding helps a lot in with people who have problems with things like anxiety, panic attacks, and things like that. So it's interesting to see how many of the grounding techniques have moved out of the spiritual setting and come into the more therapeutic settings, in which I first experienced them myself. So that was one thing. Another reason maybe that why grounding is something that is kind of like coming into use a little bit more is because we must realize that we're evolutionary beings. So let's just say that the amount of overwhelmed and stimuli that we're getting right now, it's never been this big in our as how we have evolved as in our biology. Let's just go back to our caveman self, and we were never inside. We were not getting all this digital input. We were not getting all this sensory input all the time, and we could decompress. We didn't even need that much decompression because we were not that much in our heads. We were more dealing with what was being presented to us at the present, in a certain moment. So that's why right now grounding has become so essential for many of us, and I'm not even talking about the highly sensitive. I think a lot of people can benefit from grounding techniques. And why does it help? Why does grounding help? What is grounding? Grounding is just bringing you back into your body, out of the head and into the body, because your body is always there to help you. And your body is your car. You have to maintain it, and when you're connected to your body, you're connected to what is being presented at a given moment. And let's just say that when we're confronted with a moment of anxiety or fear or angst or anything like that, we go into our heads. It's just making up the story that is not serving you and is bringing you into the future. When you're confronted with a situation that will fill you with shame or guilt, it's just pulling you into the past. So there's something just really to realize, that as soon as we are grounded and we're more aware of our bodies, we are pulling back into this present moment, into the moment that is right in front of us, without connecting the story of fear in the future or of shame and guilt in the past. So that's what grounding does to us, and that's why it's so effective with for many highly sensitive people, because we do tend to get a lot in our heads and create a lot of stories, and which creates a lot of anxiety in our system. In the most basic type of grounding, it's just let's just start like in levels. We have like the most basic, essential type of grounding, and then we have a more therapeutic, sensory type of grounding, and then we have a more spiritual type of grounding. So I'm going to talk a little bit about all three of them. First one, basic, moving. Any type of movement will bring you back into your body, which is not something that you can do when you're having a sudden panic attack, or when you're at work and you're just before a presentation, or you have an important appointment. Let's just say that's not something you can do right away. You can't move. But on a daily basis, grounding yourself, releasing stress through movement, it's just huge. And if you can do that in nature, the effects are going to double up on your grounding, because I just read this very interesting research that has been done in Japan, where forest bathing is really a form of therapy, because trees, they release, and I even wrote it down, they release a type of chemical or something like that. They're called phytoncides, and these phytoncides, they're there to protect the trees from bacteria and things like that. But the same phytoncides come into our system, and it helps us release stress, and it helps us release, restore our body, restore our mind. And as you can see that we evolved so close with nature, that for us it's essential to be, in nature when restoring our body and grounding ourselves. So any type of movement will help you ground yourself. When you're doing that in nature as well, it will even double up the effects. And if you can connect with nature while you're doing it as well, like with your feet in the grass, or with your feet in the sand, or things like that, really touching a tree or things like that, that helps as well, because it's also just like the sensory experience of feeling things and really connecting to it, and that you can connect to your body again. So moving in nature, and if you connect on a deeper level with nature, that helps a lot. So that's like the most basic, everyday type of grounding that you can do as a part of your self-care practice. Then the second type is the more therapeutic type of grounding that really has evolved in more therapeutic settings, which because years ago we were really connecting to ourselves in therapy a lot more with our minds, cognitive therapy, things like that. But there's much more awareness about what are bringing us back to the present moment, and connecting with our senses. That would help a lot more, especially with people with anxiety and things like that. And so this technique that I'm going to share now is something that is much more done in a more you can do this at any given moment. You can do this at your office, and it helps a lot. So the first thing you do, so let's say you're experiencing some anxiety, and so this is a sensory type of grounding technique. You will look around for 5 things you can see in the room, and just like 5 things I can see Look around. Notice that. Connect to it through your eyes. Like I have eyes to connect to things with, you know. I'm here. I am here. I am here. So let's just say that. That helps a lot. Just connect to things, 5 things in the room. Then you go for 4 things you can feel. So that you can actually touch. So if you can actually touch them. If you can touch them, it will bring awareness to your fingers and again to the body, which is something that really helps. 3 things that you can hear and notice that. So really take some time to do this quietly. Just feel it quiet. And 3 things that you can hear. So in my office, I'm hearing the clock ticking, and I hear my diffuser, and I'm hearing my laptop zooming a bit. So just notice that, become aware. I'm going through it a little bit fast, but you can take as long as you need with that. It's no problem. You can just, I'm just going so that you can follow my experience. And then we go for 2 things you can smell. So 2 things you can smell. So again, I'm smelling my oils in my diffuser. And I'm actually, I can smell my hair. It smells really nice today. And then when we're really back, we become very aware of what's around us and that we're here in this present moment in this room, having all these sensory experiences, you know, this body that is here to help us be here. And then we go for 1 thing that we really like about ourselves. And just thinking about that, like something that you really appreciate about yourself, something that you're really proud of about yourself, just kind of brings back like a smile to your face and makes you feel really grateful for this moment and for being you and for this body, for carrying you. So you can just connect to that, and that's really great. So right away, just by connecting to our senses, we're being brought back to this present moment, and we're out of our heads and out of the stories that we have been creating that brought us so much anxiety. So from that place, it's just so much easier to think. Another sensory experience, which I also enjoy, and which is just a little bit more spiritually tinted. It's just connecting to one beautiful thing around you. Just look around. If you can look outside and you can just focus on a tree or a beautiful flower, or even just the rain, how beautiful it's, you know, it's all being orchestrated up there. And you can connect to it and just really feel into it. And I'm talking about really feeling into it, like, oh my God, look at that. It's just so beautiful. Look at the colors. Look at the shapes. Look at the light. And really breathing into that. Breathing into beauty. Breathing into that experience of beauty. Just really connects you into this present moment. And makes you more mindful for those things that are around you that can really help you and bring you back into your body as well. So that's another nice technique. Yes, you just connect to beauty, so it's good. Then we have, I'm just going to tell you a small spiritual grounding technique. Which is just, another sensory one, another very sensory one, which you can do at any given moment. This is just a really good one, because It's something you can do in the office. You can do a few times a day when you need some grounding. It's just really connect to your body, doing exactly what you're doing. So I'm sitting right now, and you're probably sitting as well while you're watching this. And I just invite you to just really put your feet flat on the ground and sit upright and on a dignified manner. So shoulders back, head extended, and just kind of like feel into your body. Feel your feet, and feel your feet connected to the ground. Feel your ankles. What are they doing? Can you relax them? Go up your legs, feel your knees. How are they feeling? And relax them as well. Go through your thighs. Feel how they're connected to the chair you're sitting on. Just feel that connection to the chair. So this is my body connecting to a chair. And how am I sitting? You know, really connect to that. Release any tension that is there. Just release that right now. Go up your back. Feel your lower back. How does that feel? Connect to that as well. Go up your back, your upper back, your shoulders. Is there anything that you can release right there and then, just by connecting to it and becoming aware of what we're doing with our body? I mean, we don't realize throughout the day how much tension we have in our bodies and how much tension we have in our shoulders and in our neck, that we're just walking around like this and just like, I have to do this and I have to do that, and we're just, you know, out of our bodies, and we're in our heads so much that we have no awareness of what we're doing with ourselves. Huh? So just really relax those shoulders, relax your back, connect to the chair, really feel the chair as well, you know, because we're feeling with our body, we're feeling the chair, we're feeling our feet on the ground. And then we're breathing into it, because I don't think I even mentioned this, but our breath is always there with us. And our breath is just the quickest way also to ground ourselves. I mean, movement and out in nature and our sensory experiences are great, but our breath is always there to serve us. So when we take a deep breath and we actually hold that, and then we just let go, it's not just a spiritual practice. Breathing is essential to us, and it's on a biological level. It's really activating a nerve in our stomach. The vagus nerve is being activated, and it's sending this message into our brain that everything is well, that we are relaxed, that we are okay, and that we're in our body. So connect to that, and I mean, just take like a few times a day. Just every time I step out of the door, and like this breath, this fresh air it hits me, cold air sometimes, you know, and it's just for me, like every time I take that moment and I invite it in, and I'm just like, I really breathe into that moment when that fresh air hits me, and I'm much more aware of myself being outside, or you know, just before I start to work, I also connect like that. I sit down, I become aware of what I'm doing, I ground myself in my body, and I take like 5 or 6 deep breaths, and that right away calms my system, clears my head, brings me into my body, and gives me so much energy to think clearly and go throughout my day. So that was my last sensory technique that I use often. And then the last one is a spiritual one, which I'm not going to do extensively here, because otherwise this video would get too long, and I'm trying to keep it short, and I I'm always failing at keeping it short because I really enjoy talking to you about it. But this technique is just really a very beautiful one, which is just when you're sitting on a chair or if you're standing, just really visualizing that you're being connected to Mother Earth. And when we connect to Mother Earth, this is just this really loving energy, like mother energy of being taken care of all is well. And you ground yourself by pulling a cord that is just pulling you down into Mother Earth and going into the center of the earth and grounding you in that present moment into your body, opening up everything that needs releasing so that you can release it at that moment, and becoming more present in what you're doing. If you like to extend that experience, it's also very nice to extend like a cord from your top of your head and connecting yourself with the sun, which will feed you and lighten you and heal you and warm you, which is also a very nice experience to work with when you're grounding yourself as well. So that was, I don't even know how long I've been talking about it, but a small talk, I hope, about grounding techniques and why it's so necessary for us highly sensitive to really work with them. It's essential for us to be more present and to grounding does not only just bringing us to the present moment, but it's also helping us de-stress, refresh, and rejuvenate our bodies and our head so that we can be more present and be more clear. I would suggest, I would advise that you do this a few times a day. Just start your day with a grounding technique so that you can right away be more present. At lunchtime, feel into your body. How am I doing? What do I need to release from my body? Become more aware of what you're doing throughout your day so that you can restore throughout the day and not just like crash and burn at the end of the day. So check in with your body about like 3 times a day. What is it telling me? What do I need to release? How much stress am I experiencing right now? And why? Am I stuck in the future? Am I stuck in the past? How can I bring myself back into what is presenting to me right in this moment? So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps. If there are any questions that you have about grounding techniques, I love to answer them. If there's any questions about anything else that I've said so far, please go ahead, ask it as well. I hope you use them, and if you would like to connect it any other way with me, just reach out through my group, Highly Sensitive Parents Group, or through my website. It's just highlysensitiveparents.com, and I'm here for you guys, and I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.